I just got 10 GameCube games that are considered on the rarer side for a really good price. Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. The Nintendo GameCube, I'm addicted right now. I can't stop collecting GameCube games. I don't really know what's going on. Obviously it's nostalgia playing a huge factor. But I got 10 GameCube games. These are the 3 rarest. Actually, there's one more that's probably incredibly rare as well. And I wanted to go through some tips of how you can collect games, not just GameCube, but video games in general, and try and get a really good deal. So let's go through some stuff. By the way, if you have any questions throughout any of this, of course, just ask below and like the video, subscribe if you're not, that would be awesome. Alright, so first of all, something like Skies of Arcadia Legends. Even though I've been collecting GameCube for 10 years, this game has been at the top of my wanted list for an incredibly long time. This is probably one of the best games that Sega has ever made. It's an RPG pirate game in the sky. It's really unique and really interesting. I think it's the better variation or version on the GameCube. So this game in particular, I have been hunting for. I'm searching all the time. And of course, you guys probably know the most basic tips right now. Number one, you need to know the worth of all of these things. So I get most of my game prices from either price charting or from Game Value Now. I'll put links in the description below. They're giving reasonable prices for the games when they're sold on eBay. They collect all the data and then they kind of spew out the average to you. You can also just use eBay completed auctions if you want. So number one, you have to know their worth, of course. Number two, everyone knows about buying in lots. So if you buy, if I buy all 3 of these games together, the seller might give me a bit of a better deal than if I bought these individually, or if I bought all 10 games together, of course. So I think most people are probably beyond those tips. They already know about them. So the other thing that I did though is I was searching for GameCube games, not just Skies of Arcadia, but I searched generically. So what I searched for when I was looking after Skies of Arcadia and I really wanted Def Jam Fight for New York or Gauntlet Dark Legacy is I just searched generically. So you could just search video games on eBay, I think there's a few. Mercari in the States is right now really popular on Facebook Marketplace. If you can search anywhere else online, maybe try video games first, and then try Nintendo, and then try GameCube. So I found these games just by searching those terms, those very generic terms. So that's my first hint. By the way, as I go through this, maybe I'll talk about one game at a time. So Skies of Arcadia, I already mentioned, it's an RPG. The value of this game right now is over $180 US for a complete in-box copy. This one I'm really happy with because it does have everything. The person I got it from got it years ago, so he kept it in really, really good condition. Actually, this came in its own little baggie as well. The disc is in pretty good shape, and overall, this is great. If the case isn't in great shape, you can always swap out the case, because all of these just say GameCube on them, as long as they're the official cases. So around $180 for that. I didn't pay that much for it. I think I paid American for this one. It was a lot, but I got it, with a group of 10 games or so. So I think I paid American for this around $130, so I definitely got a good deal there for that one. Alright, another tip. This is Def Jam Fight for New York. So while I was trying to search generically and find all these different games, the main thing that I really recommend people always do is ask. Just say someone lists Skies of Arcadia Legends and you somehow find that. Always ask the seller, what else do you have? Do you have anything else? So if you're meeting in person, you can ask them, or it's a lot easier to ask ahead of time online. Do you have anything else for sale? Do you have any other Nintendo games or Xbox games or Sony games? That's a question that needs to be asked more often. I think mostly, I'll find a good deal for this game, and then I won't even ask, do you have anything else? And 2 weeks later, sometimes they even just message me, be like, hey, if you're interested, I've got this stack of games. But you should always ask, do you have anything else for sale? It has come back to me with great, great deals just because they want to get rid of everything in some sense. Sometimes that happens. So Def Jam Fight for New York, or Fight for NY. This is such a weird, interesting game on the system. There's already Def Jam Vendetta, which is out on the system, but this one is kind of like the sequel. It's immediately following the first one. This is an M-rated game on the system. It has all of these Def Jam records, It has crazy, crazy cast. So hold on, let me just look at the back of this, because the cast of this is insane. So, like, Omar Epps is in this randomly, Carmen Electra is in this randomly, but then you have all these rappers in it, like Snoop Dogg and Fat Joe, and a lot of iconic people, like Sean Paul, that are really popular in the music industry, but it's a fighting game, and it is brutal. There is a lot of mature content in this, and mature language, as a heads up. This game, Def Jam Fight for NY, I have it valued from game value now at around $130 US right now. So always, always, always ask, do you have anything else? All right, next tip. Let's talk about Gauntlet Dark Legacy. This game I always wanted on the GameCube. The N64 version is one of my favorite multiplayer experiences from nostalgia childhood. I remember playing 4 players with that game, and you choose pretty much like your race, like an elf or an archer, essentially, or a goblin, of course, and you fight. Like, it's a real-time fighting game. You all kind of move throughout the level together, collecting different things, choosing your level, and I've never played the GameCube version. I want to play as that Viking. I've never played the GameCube version, so I really wanted to get into this. This one does come complete as well. I don't know if I showed off if Def Jam was complete, so I'll do that in a moment. Love how this one looks, and I've really been after this for a really long time. The next tip I have for trying to get games for a really good deal would basically be, if you can find a lot, that's useful. If you can find a game and then ask, do you have anything more, that's awesome. And you can search generically, of course. But the next thing you really need to do is just be really nice. It's a really weird statement, but honestly, if you're really nice to the seller, it's going to help you out. So for example, for Gauntlet Dark Legacy, if I message the person, I'm not using the generic messages, because like if you're using, say for example, Facebook Marketplace, it just say, hey, is this still available? That's like the generic message that just pops up. I usually erase that and I say like, hey, how's it going? I'm really interested in Gauntlet Dark Legacy for the GameCube. Is there any chance you can maybe make the price a little bit better or a little bit lower? Thanks for the opportunity. And then I say my name like Dan. So be really nice when you're trying to buy games. It will help you in the long run, and it will hopefully allow the person to reach back to you. Especially just saying thanks for the opportunity and just being cordial will hopefully allow those people to be like nice back to you and maybe try and give you a bit of a better deal. So this is kind of like a dungeon crawler game, I would say. This one's pretty expensive. I have this valued at around $83 for Gauntlet Dark Legacy. Hopefully these tips are going to help you guys without breaking the bank. So I do want to go through other games that I got in this bundle, basically, in this bundle of 10. So another rare one that I got is Goblin Commander. This is Unleash the Horde. I was mentioned this game by a buddy of mine, Justin. Justin, thanks for bringing this game to my attention. This game is actually out on the Xbox and it's out on the PlayStation for some reason. I think the PS2. For some reason, it's extremely expensive on the GameCube. Whereas Def Jam Fight for NY, by the way, is that complete? Yes, it is. It does have the manual and everything. This game is out on all 3 systems as well, but it's expensive on all of them. For some reason, Goblin Commander, maybe it wasn't printed in such high quantities by Jailco on the GameCube, so it's way more expensive. My next tip to try and keep your costs low is to consider getting a game that's incomplete. So this one has no manual, it just comes with a disc and the case. The cost of this one that I spent, I literally got this for $15, and it likely, if it was complete, it's probably going for over $60 US, sometimes up to $80 if it was complete, but it's not. So this is probably about $50 US if I was to pick this up on its own like it is right now. 15, great deal. It wasn't such a great deal just because it was incomplete. I just got really lucky with this one, I think. So consider buying games that are incomplete to try and keep your costs down considerably if you can help it. I'm just going to throw that game right back there just so he's peeking right through. Looks kind of cool. The next 2 games are quite rare. The second one's really rare, actually, I would say. It's a lot harder to find. So, Lost Kingdoms. I mentioned this game maybe in a previous video that I now have a double of it, but I don't think I ever mentioned the original copy. This one's in pretty good shape other than the manual. So not only should you consider maybe not getting the game complete, but consider buying the game that's not in mint condition. If it's in mint condition, everything usually goes up, especially a collector that wants to find something that's in absolute mint condition. But if it's not, you're going to save a little bit of money. The seller in this case sold me this game for $10 less because the manual was a little bit damaged. So when he sent images of everything to me, he just mentioned, oh yeah, the manual's a little bit damaged, which he noted and I noted. And I just asked, is there anything you can do for me because of that? And he said, yeah, $10 off. So I think I spent on this one, I think, let me just try and remember how much I spent on it, because normally I think I have a value of this one around $40 if it was complete. I think I spent like half that for this copy of the game because it was not in the best condition for Lost Kingdom. By the way, Goblin Commander as well, not in the best condition, it looks like, on this case. However, if I swap this out, you can see that the sticker is on the case itself. So, like, I could just swap the case out, and then the case is in much better condition with a game that I have that's not as expensive as Goblin Commander or harder to find. This is literally a game I just found out about this year, so that's pretty crazy. So, Lost Kingdom. Maybe not the best condition, but Lost Kingdoms 2, way more rare. So much more expensive. Lost Kingdoms 2, I have never seen in the wild. This is the only copy. This one I think goes for like 150 US. It is made by Activision. I have not played these before. Exact same situation with condition. This one has a substantial crease down the side of it right here that you can hopefully make out. That is on the actual insert for this. Good news is it does come complete, but we have the GameStop sticker up there, essentially on this, or the EB Games sticker. So again, I think you knocked $10 or $15 off this one, because I didn't pay $150 for this. I think I paid $65 to $70 to get Lost Kingdoms 2, and that's a harder game to find, that's for sure. So condition, definitely try and maybe, if you really want the game, consider getting a downgraded condition one, and then you will be able to hopefully save a little bit. Alright, the next 4 games, I'm not really going to call them rare, or else I think I'd be lying to you. These ones are more common games, but already, these games are fantastic. It's wicked to add all these games. So these ones are just kind of to fill in the 10 that I really wanted. So first of all, a series that I played a lot growing up was Harvest Moon. I love the N64 copy of that game. The Super Nintendo game is something that has eluded me my entire collecting life. It's so expensive. That game's like $500 or $600 complete in box on the Super Nintendo. A Wonderful Life is a game that I really enjoyed growing up, but it's a little bit darker. It doesn't feel like as joyous to me as the other Harvest Moon games. It's just everything seems a little bit more darker, but it's the exact same experience made by Natsume. This one's really cool because it does have like the insert from Natsume. Natsume? How do you pronounce it? Let me know as a comment below. So this one does come complete, and yeah, this one just is like filling out the 10 games that I got in the collection. Not only did I get A Wonderful Life, but I got the much more cheery Magical Melody. All the characters kind of have giant heads in this game, and just all the color palette in this game is way more positive. You collect magical notes by doing different things in this game, so like, if you use your items enough, eventually you'll like unlock a note, and there's different things like that. I played this in my childhood, but it's been a while. This one comes with the Natsume, or the Natsume insert. 2 inserts, actually. One for the player's guide as well, and the instruction manual and everything like that. So the prices of these 2, of A Wonderful Life and Magical Melody, it's not that much. They're around like $27 to $28 each for these ones. They are complete and they are in really good condition. So they're just filling out the 10 games that I got with this. The next 2. The first one is Super Monkey Ball. This is the black label, and he didn't think it was in very good condition because if you can see, as I'm reflecting this case, it looks like there's water damage or scratches on it. Again, it's just the case though. The case is in bad condition, but the cover art is actually in good condition. So again, I'm probably just going to swap this out with a game that I have as a double and then have a much better condition. So like he thought it wasn't, but it was. So this is a game I already have. I just don't have the black label version. I had the Player's Choice variation, and I want to get all black label games because when you put them on your shelf sideways, to me it just looks way better. Let me know if you're a black label collector for GameCube or a Player's Choice collector for GameCube. Not only did I get Super Monkey Ball from him, but I also got Super Monkey Ball Adventure. I don't think this one did as well as the other games, but if you know more, please let me know. This is not really just a puzzle game like Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2, which are also on the Dreamcast and the GameCube. This one is literally a game that has a full story mode where you go to different worlds. One world kind of looks like a forest, another world looks like it's a robotic, like, kingdom that's controlled by AI, I guess. And another one's kind of like you're at the zoo. So it's a story mode game, which is really quite unique. This one, again, is complete. So now I have the 3 Super Monkey Ball games for the GameCube, which is really cool. These two probably have a value of around 20 to 25 US dollars each for. So altogether, here are 10 GameCube games. The tips that I use to get these is, of course, buying a lot. Try and ask, do you have anything else? So if he just posts one game, or if the seller just posts one game, he or she, try and ask, do they have anything else? So buying a lot, do they have anything else? Also, try and consider buying a game incomplete, like Goblin Commander, or try and consider getting a game that's not in great, perfect condition, like the Lost Kingdom games, how they had a little bit of damage to them, either to the manual or to the cover art itself. So those 3 or 4 hints help you a lot. And lastly, always just be nice. Be cordial, ask, thanks for the opportunity, do you have anything else? Hopefully that's going to help you out, because right now collecting in 2020 is remarkably difficult. It's really hard to find deals. You have to be on it all the time and get lucky. Beyond all, you have to get lucky, but that's like the worst collecting tip ever. Just try and get lucky. That's not going to help anyone. So hopefully this helps out. Let me know as a comment below, do you have any collecting tips that could help me out? Also, if you haven't watched Collecting Tips 101, it was a series of 101 collecting tips. I'll put it up as a card in the top right-hand corner. 101 videos. 8 years ago, I started that video series, and I'm thinking about updating it. So also, let me know if that would be a good idea, because I really do feel like that could help more people if I update that series. Maybe not do 1 tip per video, maybe do like 10 tips per video and bring that series back and bring it into 2020 would be pretty cool. What's your favorite game from my pickup? My top 3 games from here that I'm so happy to get, even all of them I'm really happy to get, but Skies of Arcadia Legends, I'm really excited to play that. Gauntlet Dark Legacy, when I can eventually play that with multiplayer with 3 other people, when eventually I have them in my house, that's going to be really cool. Maybe I'll set up a set in my backyard, bring a TV out in my backyard and have people over that way. And then the third game that I'm really excited to play, to be honest, is Magical Melody, just because it's so nostalgic to my childhood. Though all of these I can't wait to play, and the RPGs and everything like that. And Def Jam, Fight for New York, such a strange, mature fighting game. You should look at a review, by the way, of this if you've never seen footage of it. It's insane. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to fill the like bucket by clicking the like button below, subscribing to the channel if I'm new to you and you've never seen anything before. I did just do a face reveal last video, so check that out as well. Go collect them all. Keep smiling while gaming. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.